Welcome to Childhood Trash, a dumpster dive into our childhood nostalgia, where we re-examine some of the most influential media from our youth in order to answer the question, tragic or nostalgic? I'm your host, Maggie Keating, joined by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Pia LaFlaca. Today we're recapping the first 15 episodes of the first season of House of Anubis. This is the first half of the first season to what we're calling the mid-season finale. There's some big changes in that those last two episodes, particularly, that we felt had to be. Oh yes, we are so excited to be here today. This is one of the main reasons we started this podcast, is just so we could have a reason to talk and watch House of Anubis.
All right, so before we forget, we do need to mention something very crazy and very cool that Maggie has this very individual involvement with our favorite show, in the fact that she did bamboozle thousands of people, and we'll let Maggie explain herself, I guess.
So I'll just take it away. In elementary school, I thought I was going to be a film editor. I did not end up being a film editor, but in my spare time, I would make some edits, and they were terrible, on iMovie of things I loved, House of Anubis being one of them. And when I heard that House of Anubis got canceled and they weren't making a season 4, I was devastated. So I made my own season 4 trailer in its place and uploaded it to my dad's YouTube account. And it's terrible. It's like, with the iMovie music, like, just a slideshow of pictures from the show that already existed. And somehow it got over 100,000 views on YouTube. And I never told a single person in my high school about this, but when I came to college, all of my friends, like, made edits and had edit accounts. And, like, for Ariana Grande or, like, something crazy, and I felt like it was okay to share my experience. So after I connected with Pia about how much we loved House of Anubis, I had to share this with her. And so we're looking at my edit right now on YouTube. It's still up. You can look for it. And people were in the comments, like, roasting me because I was, like,
12.
I was 11, I was 11 years old, making this terrible collage, basically, of just pictures that already existed. And they were like, this isn't real, what the heck? So I took the liberty of commenting back. So I'll just read you my comment
for all the haters.
From 8 years ago. This is so incredibly embarrassing. Okay. Hi, everyone. So, yes, I do know that House of Anubis, HOA, is not coming back, but even though this trailer isn't real, it's still fun to pretend it is, 2 exclamation points. This trailer was made on iMovie because at the time, I didn't have any other editing devices. I do know, though, that if HOA was coming back, that Nina would be returning, but Joy would not. What? I actually contacted the HOA producers, and they said there was not going to be another season. This video is all pictures from past seasons. I tried to use uncommon pictures. Please take the time to watch my other videos and hit the subscribe button if you love HOA. Thank you for watching. Also, over 10,000 hits. Thank you so much for enjoying my video. And I just died reading that to you guys. So
you can watch it on YouTube. It is called House of Anubis Season 4. It is on Maggie's dad's YouTube channel.
I'm not going to give you the name, I just want you to find it.
Yeah, you'll find it. It's the most popular one. And, you know, we've got a little local celebrity here on our hands, and I think that just really adds to our credibility for starting this episode, this show, and getting into our recap of House of Anubis.
Let's begin.
But, to start us off, I did prepare something a little bit special. There is something in House of Anubis that, if you know the lore, you know what's going on. But we'll get to it when we get to, like, the episode. But we're going to start with the Sabuna Oath. So Sabuna is the club, secret society that they started by Fabian and Nina and Amber. And we're going to say the oath today to just, like, you know, I actually don't know why.
This is for fun.
For fun, to, like, swear our solidarity to the pod.
To the pod.
I'm holding up my hand. I, Pia LaPlaca, being of sound mind, promise to protect the secrets of Anubis House and stand by my fellow club member, Maggie Keating.
I, Maggie Keating, being of sound mind, promise to protect the secrets of Anubis House and stand by my fellow club member, Pia LaPlaca.
These are our sacred vows. Let no man or woman tear them asunder.
Sabuna.
Sabuna.
All right, and we have noted that if anyone else wants to join the podcast, they literally have to do that.
No, it's actually legally required. It will be in their contract. So let's start us off with the facts. Maggie, would you like to read the facts?
The facts. Season 1 premieres on Nickelodeon, January 1st, 2011. Great way to start a new
Happy
year.
fucking New Year. Like, what a bang.
Start to 2011 you could possibly...
Like, they were like, you thought 2010 was good? What?
Just wait.
Just wait until 2011.
So, each new episode aired on a 5-day-a-week schedule for the first 2 seasons.
It was a telenovela, if you will.
Oh, a little bit of a soap opera.
It was a soap opera,
Yeah.
which we'll get into. Shall we just, get started with the first episode?
I think let's just go.
The first episode is called House of Secrets. It is an
40
extra
minutes.
long 40-minute episode, which I believe is, the same special length of the last episode.
Yes.
Which is why we're doing... You'll see with the schedule what we're doing first.
Sketch.
Yeah, I mean, we'll let you know in a bit. But this was written by Diane Whitley and directed by Angelo Abella. This also premiered to a whopping 2.6 million viewers. Now, I want to know where those 2.6 million viewers are today.
Hopefully listening to this podcast.
Absolutely hitting that subscribe button. I don't actually know how podcasts work. That just, blew my mind, and I had to write that down.
Okay.
All right. We open.
Nina at the train station, suitcase, big American flag.
I love her. Literally, that's my first note. It says big American flag. I did also note the intro to each episode. That is so dramatic and cheesy. But I love it. Didn't skip it a single time.
And it's just nobody was doing it like they were. She is a big American flag.
She really is a big, that striped sweater, she's the stars and the stripes.
Guys, the striped cardigan.
Is she wearing the striped cardigan?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure how soon she's wearing it, but I think
straight off the bat.
Straight off the bat, she's wearing the striped cardigan. It's a reoccurring theme.
But basically, Nina gets to school, and at the same time, Joy Mercer, also played by Clarissa Clayton, is mysteriously removed from the school under circumstances which we don't know yet.
Are mysterious, as they would suggest.
Mysterious circumstances.
Okay, so Joy gets taken out of the school. We don't know anything about her yet, except that she's gets really just yeeted out of there.
And friends with Patricia.
And friends with Patricia. And the funniest thing is that Patricia's we were gonna watch all these rom-coms, and Joy is rom-com obsessed. And it's literally, she would never miss you rewatching rom-coms, which me. But I was it was so crazy. And I also noted that they referenced Harry Potter and Twilight a bunch.
Immediately, because they're the obvious inspiration for the show.
No, yeah, and I didn't really realize that at first because Nina gets there, she's ooh, I'm in Hogwarts land, and it's just so
yeah,
but
it is.
They talk a lot about vampires and werewolves in the coming episodes, and yes. I felt that was kind of funny.
And honestly, okay, going back and watching this show with more of a critical eye, I noticed a lot of the stuff they start to do on purpose. There's some the naming of characters. We'll get to it later.
So true. Wait, I'm
no,
so
Mrs.
excited.
Robinson, the gym teacher.
Yeah.
We'll get to it though.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
I was going to talk about Alfie and Jerome.
Oh, Lewis and Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They're literally named Lewis and Clark.
Crazy.
For what?
Yeah.
For no reason.
Because they're the two little adventurers.
I guess.
It's so cute.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I also thought it was really funny that Patricia is already shipping Fabian and Joy so hard. So we kind of see this will they, won't they, that we just will never see again because Joy's gone.
She's gone.
Yeeted out of there.
Forever. And handled in such a silly little way. They literally just scoop her out of class in front of everybody.
So Nina is moving in to Anubis House, aka the House of Anubis. I want to ask you a question,
Okay.
a very serious question,
Okay.
bringing up the fact that they were living in House of Anubis. What is their school called? What school do they go to? They go to a boarding school.
They never
They
say
live in
it.
the House of Anubis. Why? Because
don't
there's
know.
no one else. Okay, I have a conspiracy theory.
Okay.
That Nina is Harry Potter, and she has moved to Hogwarts. And the reason that House of Anubis is called House of Anubis is it's just like in Harry Potter they only followed the Gryffindors. How in House of Anubis they only followed the people in Anubis' house.
Okay. Because I like.
And she's the chosen one.
Yes.
I mean, duh.
In the third season, they bring up the people from the other houses, I think, but like
Oh.
they don't talk about the school.
So
Some of the other like character relationships in this episode, we meet Mick, Mara, Amber, and there's a weird love triangle going on there.
yeah, so basically Mick is dating Amber because they're the two hottest blonde people, Aryan people in the school. I don't know.
That's how
pretty
that works.
much.
It's very
and
much
they're both
cliche.
they're both like dumb, which I think is so funny because they also say they have nothing in common. And I was like,
Right.
you're actually just like the girl and boy versions of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And Amber gets really jealous because Mara is tutoring her boyfriend and he ends up getting them the same bracelets.
Yes, which is such a terrible thing to do, like for real.
We meet Sarah. She is an elderly woman who lives at the old folks' home, like down the road of House of Anubis, and she meets Nina by just like being
Just
wandering. Truly
She's
wandering.
literally just outside.
And I would like to say that I think Sarah gives the best performances
oh my
in
god,
this show.
she's acting her ass off.
She is stealing every scene she's in, and she like really tugs at my heartstrings. Like
I love her.
I don't remember being so like involved with her, except like in a specific episode that I
Yeah.
remember being very affected
Yeah,
by.
yeah.
But every time she's on screen and she's like just like wrinkly and like just about to cry at every moment,
And
I
she
just want to die.
Misses her family so much,
No.
and is just like so angry at what everybody's done to her
Yeah.
and been taken advantage of. Like you just feel for her so much.
So she gives little Nina a little locket.
The locket.
And it's the Eye of Horus, which we'll find out later. We're just like very into Egyptian mythology for whatever reason.
Oh, you bet.
We don't know why.
Yeah.
There's no
It's just like
explanation.
an Egypt theme to make
Yeah.
the mystery more interesting.
You know Diane
But
Wheatley.
you know I ate that up. So
Yeah. Anywho, so we also meet some of our other fun characters who are like Alfie and Jerome, who are kind of the class
the
clowns.
pranksters.
The pranksters.
Up to no good.
Yeah, and we find out that Alfie is in love with Amber and will pretty much do whatever it takes to be with her, even though he's just a bumbling idiot the entire time.
And we just love Alfie so much. Jerome is conniving in the first season.
Although I do find Jerome to be one of the most interesting characters.
I agree. 'Cause
Especially
he has so much going on.
throughout all the seasons.
Yeah, season 2 and then through season 3 he really develops like as a person, which is interesting.
Everyone is basically pretty chill that Joy's not here except Patricia, and Patricia's freaking out and she's getting gaslit like none other. Oh my god.
They literally, oh my god, the way they treat Patricia in this show when
don't
Joy's
care.
missing
They don't
is
care.
like
They absolutely
bizarre.
don't care.
Yeah. They basically force Nina to go into the attic as like a new person initiation, and they're all like, it's haunted. There's ghosts and dead people and zombies up there, and you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And she goes up there, and then Patricia locks her in and like basically throws away the key. Literally,
She really does.
literally
throw it
throws away the key,
Yeah.
and so then Nina spends the night.
Okay,
That's
episode
not-
2
yeah.
is called House of Locks and House of Eyes. Now, why it is not called House of Locks and House of Keys remains to be seen.
Yeah.
This is written by Diane Wheatley and also directed by Angela Abella. They're a good team.
We think.
Actually, Diane, she wrote she wrote all these 15 episodes.
Okay.
So she has been our gal for
Yeah.
this time.
I wonder what she's up to.
I don't know. We'll
We'll
have to get her on the pod.
We'll probably do like a last that in the last episode. Like where are they?
Where are they now? Yeah. So Nina is stuck up in the. I was about to say the closet. No.
That would be a fun turn.
She's also gay. Anyway, she's stuck up in the attic, locked in there, and Victor is also up there because he hears someone. And
Victor, we didn't introduce Victor.
Victor is the lovely house mother.
House
Just
mother.
kidding. I'm kidding. Oh my gosh. He like,
groundskeeper, right? Is that what they call him?
I don't know, does he own the, does he just work there?
I think he like
It's
owns
unclear.
Anubis estate because like his family,
Okay.
all the family stuff.
Anyway, he just basically like oversees these children by being a general ass.
Yeah,
And dropping
lots of
pins.
rules.
Lots of rules.
Dropping
He's got
pins.
dropping pins
making
everywhere.
potions,
And stuffing crows.
generally living forever.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
We'll get to
stuffing
that when we
crows
get
is
to it.
really important.
Oh yeah, we love
Corbier
Corbier.
is a freak. Corbier is a freak.
Okay, does Corbier serve any other purpose than to make Victor seem creepy? Because I can't remember if he, like, actually does anything.
No, Corbier doesn't do anything, but
He's just a stuffed bird.
Corbier serves as, like, the how we figure out what Victor's doing. Like, because Victor, like, gives him a monologue to Corbier. And be like,
true.
This is my
Because he just
plan.
talks to himself, I guess. That's fair enough. Okay, I'll give it to you, Diane. Mm-hmm. So he's up there. Somehow he doesn't see Nina, and she gets away with it, and basically leaves scot-free because she has her magical little locket that opens a secret passageway.
Yup.
And so she's able to hide from Victor, but also up there she spies a pair of eyes just looking at her, and somehow she gets scared. It's painting.
Obviously a painting.
It's so clearly a painting, and the amount of people that freak out over this painting are too, but it's still too many.
No, okay. But it's just clear, like, the budget for this show was, like, $15 an episode.
I don't even want to talk about the portraits, because they're so cartoony.
Yeah.
That's why they all wear the same wardrobe. I want to know if these were, like, their clothes. Like, their actual clothes.
Some of them, I feel like it was. Patricia's style ate, though. With her, like, tights.
Sometimes.
I loved her.
Not all the time.
No!
Okay. Cool. She realizes it's a painting. She got her wits about her, finally. And then she starts confiding in Fabian. Now, Fabian is arguably my favorite character. Because I love a soft boy.
He's just so Fabian.
He's just, like, sweet and smart. And, like, is already in love with Nina from the first time they meet. We didn't talk about the hot teacher, but we'll get there.
Oh, I have some thoughts on him, too.
I have a lot of thoughts. Patricia's literally the only one who cares, and she's just constantly being gaslit, constantly trying to investigate on her own, but she's not very good at it because she doesn't have other people's help or, like, anything. So she's doing all that she can. You know, she's listening on the teachers. She's like, the teachers are in on it. This is a whole conspiracy. She's just basically
looking for her friend.
She really is, and because she's, like, so alone and, like, another word for alone, isolated maybe. I think she has, like, way too much time to, like, ruminate and just, like, conspiracy. Like, she's just, like, going for it.
She's going bonkers.
So she's a little bit going crazy, which she just, like, descends into madness, which I kind of love the yellow wallpaper. So,
she is the woman in the attic.
She is. Oh my god. Wait, but Nina's the woman in the attic.
Okay, yeah.
But she just doesn't go crazy.
But progressing, so Nina and Fabian start to want to investigate more about this painting and the locket, because what the heck? That's weird. So they go to the attic and they're like, oh my god, what's this? And they open the thing again, the secret passageway, and they discover hieroglyphics on the back of the painting. Sarah, the lady that gave Nina the locket, had some crazy stuff to say about a treasure.
Now, why do they want treasure? Like, I get that it's the main motivator in, like, most of this.
I know.
But why do these, like, children want treasure other than the fact that, like, Nina's on scholarship? Like, why else would she want treasure? Just because it's fun?
I feel like the motivation it's interesting. It's like, for me, I would just want to solve a mystery.
No, yeah, but I feel like they're always just being like, oh, it's treasure, it's treasure, it's treasure. Yeah. It's, like, very weird. We can move on to the next episode. Episode 3, House of Agendas and House of Keys, finally.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they, like, paired them up. I think they, like, did them separately.
Yeah.
This was written by Diane Wheatley and directed by Angelo Abella. So, basically, Patricia has had enough. She is like, no one is listening to me. The teachers are all in on it. Victor's in on it. Everyone is basically in on it.
Where is Joy?
So, she goes to the police. The only people you can trust, obviously. And she reports her missing. And the police are like, all right, yeah. But,
plot twist.
What?
Whoa, okay. Plot fucking twist. Police are in on it too.
Yes. And so the police, like, right after talking to Patricia, like, calls Victor up and he's like, yo, Patricia just came in here looking for Joy. And he's like, I'll take care of it. So it's all good. Well, for them, not for Patricia. She's still going crazy.
Nina's also going through it. But she's
she
like
is.
having these like prophetic dreams that are like.
Can we talk about the dreams?
Yeah.
I remember being so, like, viscerally impacted by these dreams.
Yeah.
Now, they are the most low-budget looking pieces of shit that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, they just threw a blue filter on, they put all the, like, actors on the same set, and they, like,
were throwing
didn't do
boas
anything.
At her. Yeah.
Like, they didn't do any special effects. They put all their special effects into, the locket magic.
Yeah.
And these, like, dream nightmare sequences just had nothing. They had nothing.
They stepped it up a little bit for the season 2 with
Yes,
Sankara.
I agree with you. I think they got more money, to be honest. They made more
did
episodes,
better.
and I think that they had better special effects in the second season. But
Oh my
they
God,
literally just,
sorry.
like, they had the camera, like, just going all around them and, like, making it seem, like, kind of, like, off-kilter,
and
but it
Natalia
didn't make any
Ramos,
sense.
like, she
She gave it
not
her all.
acting. She is not. She
does a lot of mouth acting, I've noticed. There's a lot of, like, open-mouthed scenes, and I get it because they're, like, shocked.
pulling at her hair.
Pulling at her hair. She goes, no.
She has this dream, and it seems like it's a warning.
To beware the blackbird.
Beware the blackbird. And so she takes that as, like, Corbière,
Victor. General, like, everyone.
But everybody's starting to get the vibe that the teachers are no good. Patricia, Nina, Fabian, they're all like, no. So they're on the same side, but they all kind of hate each other right now.
So Fabian and Nina basically crack the code of the hieroglyphics that they mean underneath the 8th step. So they go to the 8th step in the Anubis house. Nina gets her freaking bike tools, which I don't remember seeing her ride a bike.
Her bike?
She, like, flew with her bike, like, I don't know. And they pry open the stair and they get an Egyptian puzzle piece. I guess back in the, like, kind of normal academic side of things, we can go to the other characters.
Yeah, we should touch on some of the Nick, Amber, Mara.
They're just, like, not interesting to me, but I know they might be interesting to other people. Yeah. Their general entanglements.
And I do appreciate how this show develops the other characters. Like, they definitely don't...
They give a good amount of, like, screen time to them.
Yeah, they do. And they manage to also give a good amount of screen time to, like, everybody. So,
yeah.
Like, Mick, Mara, Amber are all kind of, like, in a bit of a
tussle.
So...
Amber kissed Alfie to make Mick jealous because she was jealous of Mara tutoring him. Mm-hmm. And Alfie kind of took that as, hey, like, this girl really likes me, and Jerome, like, played into that because he's kind of a sadist, in some ways.
But we love him for it.
But we love him for it because I love Agents of Chaos.
Yes.
Like, they just make the story fun.
Yeah.
And he is that man. So he's like, hey, like, let's try to set you up on a date with Amber. And so he leaves this cute little note for Amber.
And, like, candy letters,
yeah.
Right, on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, like, he's with Alfie, they're, like, leaving the message from Alfie. Jerome hangs back after Alfie leaves, takes away Alfie's name in the message.
And he just goes, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, and so then obviously Amber assumes it's from Mick. Alfie shows up, Amber's like, get out, I'm waiting for Mick. Like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. He never shows up, and now they're fighting.
But eventually, like, that whole situation gets sorted out, and they figure out, like...
that Jerome was pulling the strings.
Yeah, which... kind of happens a lot. I feel like he just, like, does something for the sake of doing it, and then they figure it out, and they're like, okay, that was kind of a waste of an episode.
Yeah,
but, yeah. And then the last fun thing that happens in this episode is we get a little bit of contact from the mysterious Joy.
Oh. Patricia gets an email from Joy, or supposedly from Joy. And it's like, I'm safe, I'm good, we're chillin'. But it's all in, like... formal type, like, capitals and...
No emoticons.
No emoticons is the big thing. And Patricia's like, that's not Joy. She would never type like that. And it's a new email address, so that doesn't make any sense.
I know, I like that they say, like, she moved house, so she got a new email.
That's not how that works.
Moving swiftly along, we have episode 4, which is House of Discovery and House of Hyper. I don't know what any of these two words have to do with this episode.
We have a new director.
We have a new director. He's Tom Poole. Diane. I just wrote Diane. I started just calling her Diane.
Diane's bae.
Diane is bae.
Yeah, like, we can chill with Diane.
So, Victor is very annoyed because he knows that people are stealing his keys and then putting them back and then just generally breaking into places that he doesn't want to be broken into, like the attic,
the cellar.
We're not there yet.
Which has not happened yet, but we'll get there.
But specifically the attic. So he has this master plan to put a little feather in between the little, like, door so that if you open it, the feather will fall out and he'll be like, it's this little, like, trigger system to know if someone's been in the attic. So when Fabian and Nina sneak up there to find these, like, cylinders, which become very important later.
Yes.
Especially what's on them. He knows that someone's been up there because the feather is on the floor.
Later during the day, Mick and Amber are throwing a bit of a celebration party to celebrate how they, like, got back together because they figured out that Jerome was being kind of evil, and it wasn't them. So they have a little getting back together party. And during this party, Fabian and Nina decide to sneak away, go to the attic.
He says, you are very persuasive. I thought that was very sexy of him. Sometimes he has lines to Nina that I'm just like, Are you allowed to say that?
Oh my god, I know. There's some, like, sometimes they drop, like, a little swear word in this show. I remember they said hell.
Oh my gosh, can I just say
like,
that I'm so mad that I forgot to mention that Fabian twice says or calls Patricia a witch, and every time he says that, I'm like, bitch. I'm just like, he is saying bitch, he just can't. And I just know the writers were just like, I don't know what to call her.
This show with swear words, that's what I need.
No,
And,
yeah.
like, actual drama.
Like TVMA. That's what the show should be.
This show needs to be TVMA.
Because there's some risque stuff that we will get into that is kind of crazy.
But basically, they're in the attic, and they
got the cylinders.
They got these cylinders that go to, like, a phonograph machine, which...
It's like an MP3 player.
Basically a record player, but in circle form.
Oh, it's
like,
so
more circle form.
Cylinder.
In a cylinder form.
In a cylinder form.
So,
and they don't know what to do with them, and they don't really know they actually don't know what they are at first.
Yeah.
So they take them to Fabian's Uncle Aid, who is
Aid
the most camp bitch in this show.
I love Uncle Aid.
I love him more than life.
Uncle Aid makes them, what was it, Bubbles and Squeak, which is apparently a British delicacy, and I was like, what is that? I don't know. But it's so silly.
So he tells them what they are and basically how to use them, and then they remember there is actually a phonograph machine so they can actually listen to them. Mm-hmm. And then Patricia basically discovers that the police suck, and they are with Victor and the gang. And they say some really shady stuff about where Joy is, and she just interprets it very badly.
Yeah, so this whole episode, they're just, like, finding out.
There can't be a lot in every episode, you know what I mean? They can't all be bangers.
Just finding out more and more stuff. And I think the biggest part of this episode, Nina and Amber decide to room together, so Patricia moves out of the room with Nina and moves in with Mara because Amber is fed up with Mara. So they switch rooms.
Because Mara sucks.
Mara sucks.
Mara continues to suck, and then she sucks harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
I don't think she ever stops sucking, to be very real.
Yeah.
I don't think she ever does. Especially in season 3. Yeah. Anyway. Episode 5 is House of Cheats and House of Rumors, also written by Diane and directed by Tommy Poole.
And this is where Mara sucks the most.
No, it's not.
She sucks more later.
She sucks more later.
But this is, like, starting of, like, bad
This
suckiness.
is, like, a bad cycle of suckiness that she starts up.
Mara decides to cheat on a French test for Mick, so she, like, takes 2 tests, basically.
She, like, gets a second copy of the test, takes it for him, writes his name.
So, like, I don't know why.
Because she's in love with him.
And,
like, doesn't know how to express her feelings.
Yeah, and he doesn't know this is happening, like,
anyway. And basically, so Jerome, of course, like, sees her doing that, and so he's like, this is great blackmail, so I'm gonna have you do all my chores for the week, which is kind of iconic of him.
He's always, like, just observing.
He's so observant. He's the wallflower. Like, what can... I say more.
He's too good.
He's too good for us. Alrighty, so Nina and Fabian, they're sneaking back and forth into the attic. This is nothing new, but they listen to the cylinders in the phonograph, and it makes this, like, really loud, crazy noise that sounds like someone wailing, or... I believe Nina says it's a moan, which I was like, okay, how do you know that?
A terrible moan. A deathbed moan.
Oh, yeah, she says that!
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
The way you remembered that was actually so good.
I watched it today.
And while this is happening, basically, Alfie and Jerome have convinced Patricia that, like, Joy is dead and wants to talk to her from beyond the grave. And so they hold a seance, which is, like, so weird. Like, for what?
And, like, they're actually doing this, and so, coincidentally, at the same time as this moan, the seance happens, and then the seance, and they hear the moan, and they're like, oh my god, it's Joy!
Yeah.
And it's not. And they
it's
all
definitely
get freaked
not.
out. Yeah.
But it does freak them all out. And then the next day, Patricia starts seeing things. So she's hearing things, she's seeing things. It's not going well for Patricia. She sees someone hanging around on the school grounds and gets freaked out thinking it's a ghost. She yells and points and goes, ghost, ghost, ghost. She goes, hot teacher, it's a ghost. And he's like, drama. Anyway.
Oh,
so,
Mr. Winkler, guys.
Mr. Winkler, hot teacher, love him. Mm-hmm. And I literally said wait, I wrote this.
Okay.
I definitely wrote this. She confides in her hot new drama teacher, Mr. Winkler, played by Jack Donnelly. Jack Donnelly, where are you? We need you on the pod.
That's so true.
Who agrees to basically help her to find out what happened to Joy, because she's very, very concerned, as we all know.
Next up, Amber basically is snooping. She's like, Nina, I know you're up to no good. I know there's something going on. And, tell me everything. And she looks over the bathroom stall. Nina could have been peeing.
She really... Dude, that gave me, like, pregnancy test energy. I felt like she was, like, taking a pregnancy test. Because she just, like, pulls out her stuff in the bathroom stall.
Yeah, it was really funny. But then
The things these people do in bathroom stalls.
I know, right? Oh my god. And Amber looks over and sees Nina with this puzzle piece that they found in the attic.
Mm-hmm.
And is like, what is that? So then Nina has to tell her everything. But we find out that Amber probably can be trusted because she ends up covering for them when they almost get caught sneaking out of the attic that night. So
yeah,
she's
when
pretty cool.
they bring her along,
Yeah.
She got a really good thing about ice cream. I think she said she was like, I got munchies. You know,
Yeah,
like what are you gonna do?
She's like, I don't care about your rules. I'm going on a fridge raid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I kind of loved. I feel like most of the time, like, they just say the most outlandish lies and somehow get away with it. But I feel like Amber just, like, made something up that was normal.
She's really the most reasonable character.
Yeah. Episode 6, House of Intruders and House of Proof. Also written by our gal Diane and directed by Tom Poole. We have a reappearance of the striped cardigan! I feel like we need a bell.
Yeah, we do.
I also noted in this first scene, everyone is comforting Patricia because she has seen the ghost of Christmas Past again. Mm-hmm. And everyone's comforting her, like, in her bed or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Trudy, their house mom and stuff. And then Mick is just standing there eating a banana. He literally, go back to the scene.
They did that to his character.
They really, like, hammered in the fact that, like, he's eating all the time.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really funny. But more importantly in this episode, there's, like, a very fun fight.
Oh. Amber finds out about this cheating thing that Mara has done for Mick on the French test, and they literally have a cat fight over it.
It's
like,
so funny.
Like in the little like common room they have.
I think it was yeah.
Yeah.
Because they also do drama there, which doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand.
It's a low budget school.
Yeah. Like,
I love it. I wish it was more intense of a fight because I don't really know what exactly they were doing.
Like they're pulling each other's hair.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But she finds out that Mara cheated for Mick and also tells Mick as well. And then going back to our lovely clues, we get another clue from Miss Sarah Frobisher-Smythe herself, her child self, I guess. She wrote a little message to herself, and she said, help me. Yeah. Sarah Frobisher-Smythe.
On the wall.
On the wall.
And Amber just finds it.
And Amber, like, peels back the wallpaper. They're doing a lot of knocking in this. Are they doing knocking in this? I feel like she does a lot of knocking in general.
Yeah, she's,
on
like,
the
knocking
walls.
around.
She's knocking around. And I think there's also, like, some tallies on the wall as well. I have a really fun idea to record Sarah's cylinders.
So they don't have to keep going to the attic.
Onto
Amber's MP3 player.
Which is, I wrote down that's so 2000s. Yes. Because I was like, literally, what's an MP3 player? And I also think it's so funny. One of my favorite things is when they're recording the podcast, they find out, like, obviously, like, I literally called it a podcast. I was getting to that point.
Yeah.
But they find out that, like, Sarah basically thinks that, like, her parents were murdered by Victor. Well, not Victor, she doesn't name him, but, like, some guy who sounds a lot like Victor. Yeah. But I love that in this whole episode, and in, like, the ones to come, Fabian just acts like he is the producer of Sarah's Cylinders, the podcast, and he is just, like, so mad that everyone keeps fucking up his podcast, and he's like, guys, you need to be quiet, like, I'm just trying to edit my podcast.
I love him.
He takes it so seriously, and
He's
it's my
such a
favorite
king.
thing. And they basically figure out that Sarah is probably Sarah. Old Lady Sarah.
Yeah, Old Lady Sarah is young girl on the cylinders that they found in the attic. And so they're piecing all that together, and it's pretty cool.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch,
creepy towers.
Back, like, outside of the attic. I feel like there's, like, inside the attic and outside of the attic storylines.
Yeah. So outside the attic, Jason, also known as Mr. Winkler.
Also known as Hot Fucking Teacher.
Yeah. Finds Joy's broken phone and some of her, like, belongings in the recycling bins outside of the school.
He doesn't really try hard to find that.
It's just kind of sitting there.
It's right there.
Victor really just didn't try that hard to dispose of all of it. But he finds it, and it's pretty much confirmation of everything that Patricia's been saying. So he starts to get on her side a little bit more.
Which we love. Main thing of this episode, they start the Sabuna Club. What's Sabuna? Anubis backwards. Mic drop. Another puzzle piece, another riddle. Let's move on.
Okay.
Yes. Episode 7, House of Confrontation and House of Alarms.
Yes.
Diane and Tommy. Killing it.
We meet Rufus, just kidding,
The private
Renee,
investigator of the woods. The most sus man.
Who we think is actually a ghost.
Yeah, he's the most confusing character, but his outfit does slay.
And he tasks Patricia with finding stuff, including the Eye of Horus, so she's on the lookout.
Meanwhile, Mick dumps Amber. drops her like she's freaking hot in front of everyone. It's like kind of savage, but like she wasn't paying him any attention. So
and he just does it again.
They weren't a good relationship to begin with, but I was kind of sad to see them go because they were steady.
Yeah.
They were steady, they were constant. I got used to them.
Yes.
But it's fine.
It's fine. So anyway, they find the next puzzle piece by solving the first puzzle riddle.
They have Prospective Parents Weekend, which basically is the set of this whole episode. Which doesn't really mean anything to anything important other than people fighting, like Mara and Mick. And that's about it. It literally doesn't matter. It doesn't advance anything in the plot, so we can move on.
Yeah.
One thing that we do find out while baking some lovely cakes is that there's an oven. But does this oven open? No, sir, it does not.
Mm-mm.
And I don't actually think we open it in this episode, to be very real.
We don't.
So we don't open it, but we find out it doesn't open. And
I do hear Victor's voice on one of the recordings.
which, like, duh.
But, like, we knew that.
Like, we've been new. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Sarah's Sarah, Victor's Victor. A spade is a spade. Episode 8, House of Flames and House of Passages. Diane, Tommy.
Okay.
So, Patricia's in her stealing era. She wants to steal Nina's stuff. She also, like, went through her diary in, like, the first few episodes.
She's evil, kind of.
She's kind of evil. And then every time her friends call her out for it, she's like, what do you mean you're not my friend anymore?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't like
Why
when
don't
we
you
used
love me?
She's like, what do you mean, like, we used to steal stuff all the time, like, when we were friends? Like, what are you talking about, Patricia?
That's crazy.
This is why people think you're insane.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sabuna figures out the next riddle and finds out that they have to find a fireplace.
A place of fire, if you will.
Yes.
Now, what is a place of fire other than, you guessed it, an oven? And guess what? It opens with Nina's locket.
It's the magical locket.
It's the universal key. And we also find out that there is a little bit of, like, some tension, some drama, some history, some past with Rufus and the kind of teacher Victor squad that we don't know too much about yet.
Just that they're a weird cult, and this is way too, like, scary to be on Nickelodeon.
Oh, 100%.
Like they're, like, in masks, robes, chanting.
The whole nine.
Weird.
But I love a terracotta.
It's
like,
so fun.
I love the terracotta robes. Like, get me one of those.
Yeah.
But basically they call Rufus the betrayer, so we know that there's this kind of mysterious past with him and the cult.
Yes. So they make it to the, they go through the oven passageway, which leads into the cellar, which gives them the next clue, which is like a big circle ring. And
it's like a hula hoop, but like mini.
But like a little mini hula hoop.
It's like bigger than a collar.
Like a large bangle, if you will.
It's like a crown, maybe. Maybe a crown. Yeah. It's got numbers on it.
And it's got stuff, and it's confusing. And anyway, moving on.
And they see Victor drinking it up, toasting to life. He's drinking a weird fluid. They are hiding in the cabinet because Victor literally doesn't have peripheral vision.
Alchemist freak. Yeah. He's really scary.
And they get stuck down there, but eventually, like, they get out. They escape the cellar.
Yeah.
In the next episode, which is episode 9, House of Kidnap and House of Catnap. Now, I love this episode because I love a cat, and it's only in this episode.
Yeah.
And
this is actually, like, a really sad part of the show. They find this cat.
This lovely little black cat.
In the cellar, and Amber, like, decides that she's going to take care of it. She takes off from school. She pretends to be sick. And later, they go down to the attic, or go down to the cellar, and they find a stuffed cat that looks exactly like...
Oh, yeah. It's sad.
And not stuffed as in, like, stuffed animal. Like, stuffed as in, like...
Taxidermy.
Yeah.
Like, Victor loves his taxidermy.
So Amber is a mess, like, sobbing.
Yeah.
Because she thinks that Victor taxidermied the cat and killed it. And so they're like, okay, this is enough.
Yeah.
Like, we need to
It's
tell
really
somebody.
a turning point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're scared. They're kids. And so they're like, we need to tell somebody. And they go to Trudy, and they confide in Trudy. And Trudy's like, okay, like let's go down to the cellar. Like, we'll get Victor and have him show us. And they go down to the cellar. None of it is there. The cat isn't there. All of his weird elixir of life shit isn't there. And Trudy has been made a fool of in front of Victor.
And
she gets fired.
She gets fired for literally believing the kids.
Yeah.
And you slayed that recap.
I know,
You slayed that. Okay, episode 10, House of Cameras and House of Numbers.
Wait,
I also love this episode.
Wait,
did I miss something?
forgot. They let Patricia in on the secret.
Oh, so true.
Yeah, because...
So true.
Because it was like, they all decided that they were on the same side. Like, they figured out they were...
Which took them long
It really did. It really did. Victor's on this, like, secret spy mission.
He is.
to, like, what's the word?
I don't know.
surveil the children.
Yeah, so he's basically, like, he knew that these kids were up to something, but he doesn't know what yet, and so he just installs these, like, security cameras all throughout everywhere. There's probably one in the bathroom, for all we know.
Yeah.
Watching them change, like, I wouldn't put it past him. But, he's installed these, security cameras, and they're not fun. Like, the kids play tricks on them, sure, but, like, they're definitely just, like, not able to do what they want to do when they have these up. Like, they have to be really sneaky about finding clues and such. But you know what's so quirky and fun about this episode?
What?
Is the sports quiz.
Oh, between Mara and Mick, right?
Yeah, so Mara and Mick are on speaking terms again, except they're gonna have a sports quiz because...
He's like, you're a girl, you don't know anything about sports.
Yeah, and Mara freaking shows him.
Because her dad is an Olympian.
Yeah, this might be the only time I've liked Mara.
Yeah.
But basically they decide to team up to help him train to go to UCLA or some shit.
Yeah, because he's...
Sports guy.
Sports guy.
He's sportsman.
Needs to do other stuff. I don't know. After pressure from Mick's dad, they eventually take down the cameras because that's bizarre. But Nina is doing some digging on Anubis' house, finds out that the original owners, the Frobisher Smythes, were part of the excavation party that found Tutankhamun's tomb. The next clue, which is something beleathered and clasped. And while they're looking, they find a picture of Victor from the 20s, looking exactly the same as he does right now.
Very spooky. One other thing I just want to quickly mention about this episode is there's a part where Nina walks in on Fabian, who's playing guitar to himself in the mirror, like he's a rock star, and it just is so funny and weird to me, and I just wanted to mention it.
Oh, I just love it.
I love the little Fabina moments. I wrote them all down.
Fabina. I love
They
them.
are so Fabina. Episode 11, House of Scares and House of Fakers. This is written by our girl Diane, but directed by Tim Hopewell. So, the cameras are removed, and Trudy also comes back to the home. I think we might have skipped over that, but that was also like a part of the camera negotiation.
Yes, to get Trudy
get
back.
Trudy reinstated.
Because they weren't eating.
They were starving.
Yeah.
Like,
Victor wasn't cooking.
He
It
like
was
made
bad.
slop. Like, I don't know what he was doing. Anyway, Mick and Mara kiss. Who cares? None of us.
Boo, so bad, gross. Oh god. Okay, this is this episode. So, they're like, okay, now that we know that Victor is a zombie and has been alive for like
Zombie?
for like 300 years. Not 300. Over 100 years.
Math is hard.
We're gonna go find proof of this elixir of life. So they go to the cellar, and they get scared by Alfie and Jerome dressed in zombie costumes. So they're like,
Which was kind of a slight. I kind of loved this
Yeah.
joke. It was really funny to me.
yeah, they're like, haha.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, there.
I laughed.
Alfie and Jerome come clean about that.
They're also running like some other schemes that aren't important, but they're just like so fun. They really add to like the fun of the outside of the cellar business.
Yeah.
And they keep it alive. They really keep it alive.
Yeah,
So they get a sample of the elixir that Patricia puts in this like sports drink bottle to make it like inconspicuous.
And then Nina visits Sarah in the nursing home, where Sarah reveals that she and Rufus used to be childhood friends, and Rufus also the private investigator, and suggests that Victor is the one who murdered her parents.
He's definitely not a private investigator, right?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, this man is a fraud.
I was just checking. I also wrote in my notes, cellar attic, pick a fave right now, if you had to.
Cellar or attic?
Cellar or attic.
Cellar.
You're a cellar?
I'm a cellar girl.
I'm an attic person.
But the season 2 cellar stuff is so slay.
I can't remember.
With the tunnels? Oh my god.
Oh, fuck. They were in the cellar?
That was
Oh,
the
wait.
cellar.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, it's so
But that
good.
freaks me out. I feel like I would get less freaked out in an attic.
The attic is cool too.
Moving on to episode 12, we have House of Identity and House of Emergency. This is written by our gal Diane and directed by Timmy Hopewell.
So, Mara's being weird this episode.
Mara is in her reputation era. She is so pissed. She heard Mick say, like, I would never date that bitch Mara because she's so motherfucking boring. And,
Yeah.
like, was he lying? No. Absolutely not. So she decides, like, to basically dress like Patricia.
Yeah.
And act like a
Patricia's
bitch.
what is wrong
Yeah,
with
Patricia's
you?
like, you're just being me, but worse. She's having her own moment, and, like, we just gotta mention it. And she does some fun pranks herself. You know, she, like, does the classic little red sock in the white laundry load to get his clothes all pink.
Yeah, it was cute.
But she does some not-so-slay things as well.
The main plot in this episode, Alfie left his zombie mask in the cellar.
How
When-
dare he?
Yeah. Like, when he was trying to scare Nina and Fabian and Amber. So
And Patricia.
And Patricia, sorry, forget. So he goes back to retrieve the mask, and while Jerome is trying to wait to let him out, he gets caught by Victor. So Alfie is stranded in the cellar overnight, and he witnesses Victor holding, like, one of the
cult meetings.
Yeah. Literally traumatized.
He's literally so traumatized to the point where he doesn't remember what happened. So, like, even by the time they, like, rescue him and get them out, they, like, all kind of team up. Jerome gets the Sabuna crew together.
Yeah.
And gets them to get him out. He, like, cannot speak. He can't be touched. Like, he is literally... He's going through it like none other.
Having, like, a full-blown panic attack. So they're like, get him something to drink, quick. Get him something to drink.
And what does Nina fucking do?
Nina gives him the elixir of life.
And what is in that elixir? No one fucking knows.
And he drinks it and passes out.
And he gets sent right straight to the hospital.
Yeah.
So we're all like, Nina, you fucked up. And she's very guilty. She feels very guilty about it, which is, like, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But also, like, I kind of feel bad for her. Now, in episode 13, House of Reunion and House of Memories, I think there's some clues in this title as to what this episode's about. This is also written by Diane and directed by Timmy. So Victor's like, hey, Alfie drank cleaning fluid, but no one's believing it, but he just, like, very quickly announces that, which I think is just covering his own ass.
Yeah,
because later, you find out in the hospital that they're like, actually, it's, like, very inconclusive. We actually don't know what he drank.
Yeah. They end up solving this beleathered and clasped riddle. Even though Nina's being like, I don't want to be a part of it.
She literally quits Sabuna only to join, like, in the next episode.
Yeah. So basically they're like, what's beleathered and clasped? And then they're like, oh my god, isn't the clue, like, where yesterday
always follows tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, oh my god, it's a dictionary.
And
so
it is a dictionary. And they find this big Arabic dictionary. And Nina's locket is the only one that opens it.
And only she can open it with the locket.
Boom! Plot twist. Oh my god, hint that she's the chosen one.
Which, like, we already got the chosen one vibes. Yeah. They can't find the clue yet.
Oh, right.
In the book.
Yeah,
because it's just, like, a cutout book.
Yeah.
Invisible ink. But, while Alfie is in the hospital, Patricia goes to visit him and to, like, interrogate him. But who does she see at the hospital? Freaking Rufus, who we thought died because Victor, like, literally knocked him out, and they saw him knock him out and was like, oh my god, so scary.
Yeah, we forgot to mention
it doesn't matter.
That's why Patricia joined Sabuna.
So Rufus is, like, her key to joy, or at least so she thinks. So she wants to help him, so she kidnaps him out of the hospital, wheels him on down to the good old garden shed, hides him in the woods, and there he meets, like, the actual, like, Sabuna crew, and he basically says some really shady shit about Nina and her locket and Sarah and all this shit. He's like, it's cursed, it's like, you should give that back, and he just, like, doesn't know what he's talking about, and he seems very sus about it.
Yep.
But then they do finally, you're right, they do actually in this episode read the invisible ink in the dictionary and find the next clue.
Which is, unfortunately, taken from them as Victor catches them in the act.
That sounds so, like,
the next
scandalous.
Clue. Yes.
He catches them in the act?
And he gets the next puzzle piece. And then the next two episodes are bonkers. These are the play episodes.
I don't know where we are. Wait, I wrote Mara, that's illegal. Where are we? Mara does something so heinous that, like, she can't come back from this, and yet we've allowed her to come back from this. So because she was in her rebellious era, she decided that she can't train with Mick because he hates her guts, and doesn't think she's attractive, which, like, obviously. And he started training with, like, his soccer coach or whatever the fuck. And so she took some really cute pictures of them training together and, like, laughing, I guess.
Like, just, like, socializing.
Literally just, like, interacting. And sent them to Mr. Sweet, one of the teachers at the school, and was like, these are some interesting photos. I wonder what they're doing.
Okay, here's where I want to touch on Mrs. Robinson.
Okay, please do.
So the gym soccer coach's name
know.
Is Mrs. Robinson. And if I don't
like Meet the Robinsons.
Have you seen The Graduate?
No.
Okay, so it's this movie about, like, a college student who falls in love with this old lady.
Oh my god.
And her name is Mrs. Robinson.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And you know the
That's
song
crazy.
by, like, oh my god, why am I forgetting who this song
Hey
is?
there, Mr. Robinson.
Cheers
Is that
to
a song?
Mrs. Robinson.
Oh yeah. What song is that?
Simon and Garfunkel, Mrs. Robinson. But it's about a young boy falling in love with an older lady, and then they named the gym teacher Mrs. Robinson, which I think is just hilarious.
That's so funny. I love the writer. Diane, let's get you on the pod.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this.
Like, I just
Who
think
names
that's
these
hilarious.
characters?
Yeah.
That's so funny. But anyway, she sends them over, and this basically... And so Mr. Sweet sees them and is like, yoink, we gotta get her out of the school. But what I find the most interesting is that they also think that Mick is going to get suspended.
Yeah.
Now, why, if he is being preyed on in a student-teacher relationship, would he be getting in trouble? Because that's literally the plot in the next couple of episodes. He's like, I'm so scared I'm going to get thrown out of this school for something that I didn't even do, when you're literally not of consenting age.
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous.
It didn't make any sense to me.
And it's also, like, something that's a very, like, mature topic for such a children's show.
It felt like, I was like, why are we so obsessed with student-teacher relationships in the 2010s? Because it felt like Pretty Little Liars to me. Like, it was like, so... especially, like, when they introduced Jason, the hot teacher, I was like, everyone was like, look at that booty, though. And, like, that was literally, like, their whole comment, and every time he had, like, an interaction with someone, I was like, are you, like, is there something happening here?
His relationship with Patricia,
is so strange. Like, he visits her at home, he, like, gets very into, like, her mystery eventually, but then he goes to the dark side.
The school is hosting, like, a play written by
our very own Nina Martin.
And this is the best thing ever.
It is the best thing to happen to House of Anubis thus far.
Nina is unoriginal and stupid and can't come up with anything on her own.
I wouldn't give her props, though.
Okay, no.
She had no time, no resources to write this play. She's not a writer. No. And they were like, Nina, write a play about something. And she's like, I guess I'll write about my friend fucking Sarah or Sally from the museum who tells me things.
So they basically make up this play that's all about this mystery that they're on. And it's following Sarah, a.k.a.
It's following Sally,
a.k.a. Sarah. And
it's very like the call is coming in from inside the house because they are just trying to call out Victor and his shenanigans and basically just like call him out in the play,
but
which is kind of funny.
It's hilarious. So it's talking about Sarah's parents and how they went on the excavation of Tutankhamun's tomb, and how there was a curse on the treasure that they stole, and that's the treasure that they're searching for in the house.
And Fabian plays Victor, and it is the funniest shit because he's got Sharpie mustache and like Sharpie sideburns. It is my favorite thing.
And Alfie and Jerome played a camel because they did something that bad, and it's their punishment. And it's just so good. And Nina has a British accent. She puts on a British accent, and me and Pierre are about to quote it for you right now.
I'm screaming. Wait.
My name is Sally. I am 12.
She's 7 years old.
Sorry, I'm 7 years old. It's so.
And she says something. My story has to be told or something.
And
it's so bad. Like, it's iconic.
Atrocious.
It's atrociously bad. Her curls, horrible.
I just love this play.
One of the most important parts of the play is that they've decided that it's the best time for them to get the puzzle piece that Victor stole from them. Mm-hmm. And this was Nina's big idea. She's like, I got a break in between Act 1 and Act 2. I'm going to go yeet over there. Yeet on back. Basically, the play is like everything's coming to a head. Who's in the audience? Rufus. Who's not in the audience? Literally no one. Joy's in the audience. Victor's in the audience. Sweet's in the audience. Uncle Aid is in the audience.
Trudy and Uncle Aid are falling in love,
which I fucking love. So everyone who's anyone is there. And so Nina leaves during intermission to go get the puzzle piece, which is very stressful for her, and that's kind of where we end up. They love a cliffhanger for the end of the episode.
They do. And then we get to our mid-season finale,
which is
House of Risk and House of Thieves.
Nothing really happens in this episode.
No, but like we get to this like point
but a lot happens
where everything is like flipped.
Yeah.
So Nina retrieves the puzzle piece from Victor's safe, but Victor like is literally in the room with her, and she's just hiding.
No peripheral vision. That's what I'm telling you.
It's bizarre. Like
she's crawling around on the floor.
It's just really funny. But she makes it back and to the play, and they're like stalling on stage because she's super late.
I have one really quick question.
Yeah.
Why did he go to his office? He doesn't do anything there. Yeah. He opens the safe where the puzzle pieces are kept. He types in the number. She sees the code, which she got wrong before. He looks at the puzzle pieces. He goes, I got some puzzle pieces. And then he gets a text, and it goes, hey, you gotta come back. Rufus is in the audience. And then he puts the puzzle pieces back and closes the safe and leaves. He doesn't do anything in this scene. Why is he at his office?
Like a lot
other than to increase tension.
A lot of the things in this show are just there.
I know.
Do you remember the episode where they're like talking about finding the hidden treasure, and then Mick comes in? He's like, "What treasure?"
Yeah.
And then Nina just holds up a box of cereal, and it's like, "Where did you get the box of cereal?" And she's like, "Oh, the treasure on the
she
back
goes,
of the box."
She loves being really into things.
She's
really
into pirates.
She goes, I'm really into like collecting like cereal like toys.
Yeah.
It's like the most absurd. I'm really into taxidermy. I'm really into lying. Like, she's so bad.
So anyway, we get this puzzle piece.
Yes.
Return to the play. It's a mess. Joy's in the audience. Everybody sees her. The teachers have seen her. They're like, Joy, leave. Okay. Do we know at this point, like, why Joy has left?
Like, specifically?
Yeah.
Well, they do say, so Joy, they're like, Joy, run. And that's what Patricia says. And Joy, like, runs and she hides in a classroom and Victor basically catches her there and was like, you didn't think you could, like, get away with this or whatever. You're the chosen one. So he does call her the chosen one. I don't think they say exactly the things, like, Nina has already found, like, they've seen the stuff in the cellar. They know about the elixir of life. They've seen their little nameplates.
Yes.
But I don't think they know, like, I don't think they've added it all up yet. Mm-hmm. But kind of the main thing is, like, Joy is still alive.
And she's been taken out of school for a reason.
For a very specific reason, and we, like, kind of basically had everything confirmed to us by this episode.
Yeah.
And then kind of the biggest plot twist of this episode, which is, like, how would you not have seen it coming, is that Rufus is a bad guy.
Yeah.
And he basically was, like, conning Patricia the whole time to, like...
Get to Joy.
To get to Joy. And when he can't do that anymore, he, dun-dun-dun, kidnaps Patricia.
Which, why?
I don't know.
As, like,
it serves no purpose.
It's like...
I think he just doesn't want her to reveal his secrets, which is probably my best explanation for that.
I think...
But I don't know why.
Is it if he hands over Patricia, then they'll give him the elixir or Joy or something?
Oh!
I think that's what it might be.
It might be that. Yeah. It might be like a leverage thing.
Yeah.
But he hasn't, like, made any claims by this point. But that is kind of the explosive mid-season finale.
Yeah.
Of House of Anubis season 1. What are some final thoughts we have before we have to go?
Ooh, I just love this for, like, first part of the season where we don't really know much about what's going on. Mm-hmm. Because, like, after this point in the season, we know we're searching for the cup of Ankh.
Cup of Ankh.
Ankh. Yeah.
Yeah. And that all these puzzle pieces come together to make a big old cup.
Yes. After this point, we know there's, like, a purpose to the quest. Before, it was just, like, oh, we're searching, we have all these pieces, we don't know what they mean.
But wouldn't that be why you like the next part of the series? And not why you like this part?
But it's, like, a nice, like, it's just, like, the mystery kind of gets, like, a direction after this. And before it's, like, a big, I don't know. It's fun to piece it all together.
I think, like, this, it just has the least guidance in these first 15 episodes. And I think some of my favorite parts of the show are when everyone is working together to, like, solve the mystery. So, like, when they all, like, get Alfie out of the cellar.
Yes.
I love that moment. Like, when Patricia joins the gang. Like, I really like those moments because I feel like they really bring out each other's strengths. And I do really think that they are good characters in, like, in the ways that they are just, like, very different people. But yeah, I don't see a lot of that in this episode. We have to go soon.
Yes, we do. Let's talk tragic or nostalgic first half House of Anubis season 1.
I'd say it's... That's so hard.
It's really hard because I love it. Because
I love it, but I know it's bad.
Okay.
I would say it's leaning more towards tragic.
I would too, just
because I think it's a mess.
It's totally a mess.
It's like we had such okay, can I just tell the audience, we had such a hard time recording this podcast, not because it's our first podcast, but because of the mess that is the plot of this episode. No offense to Diane. You just had a lot to work with. Yeah. There are so many, this is such a big cast of characters. They're coming out, like, telenovela style. There's a $2 budget. Yeah. Like, she had nothing to work with, which is why this was so hard.
Like, there was just so much to talk about. And I think it got easier as it went because the plot got, like, less crazy. But
I think that's also the thing is when there's so much going on, it's because they're not all in on the secret, and so there has to be all these other side plots, like an A and B and C story, that
to touch on all the characters.
That is so unnecessary in the later seasons, and I think it makes it more, like, cohesive.
I totally agree.
So I'm gonna go tragic.
I'm gonna go tragic too.
Even though I have probably seen the first 15 episodes more than I've seen the rest of the series.
Yeah, I have probably rewatched this every year since it came out, so I love it, and I don't care.
Yeah, but, especially that first episode.
It's definitely tragic. Yeah.
The first episode is tragic, all by itself.
For sure.
It's so bad. Hi, I'm Nina. I'm from America.
Okay, you know what? I do think that the play episodes, those are nostalgic.
I'd still say they're bad.
You think they're bad?
I'd still say they're bad.
I just love, my name is Sally. I'm 7 years old. I just love it so much.
It's camp.
It's really camp, and we need to...
We actually have to go. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Next up on the docket, we will be watching
Avalon High.
Avalon High, as well as the next 12, 13 episodes of House of Anubis, so like the latter half except the last episode. So that's what's on deck. We have lots of people screaming here at Emerson College. So we've got to go.
We gotta go. We haven't figured out the outro yet, so we're just gonna say goodbye.
Yeah, and subscribe and like and follow us and do all those things.
Okay, goodbye.
See ya.